Brian, you gotta calm down. I'm gonna kill Christian Cage for what he'll inevitably say about my dead father. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God, he's about to hyperventilate. Quick, somebody get me a plastic bag. Brian, just breathe into the plastic bag. I don't think this is a good idea. Not now, Yuta. We're trying to calm him down. That's right, just breathe. Breathe into unconsciousness. Badass. I'm Charles Renton with my review of AEW All Out 2024 from the Now Arena in Chicago, Illinois. They didn't want to show that footage, but then they showed Hangman Page basically just giving all kinds of narcotics to Swerve and braining him to end the unsanctioned cage match. Make it make sense, AEW. Make it make sense. That being said, All Out 2024 certainly had spectacle moments, good and bad. Had a couple matches I really enjoyed, and some stuff that I guess was booked for the sickos, the remaining sickos that are still watching this particular company. So, what did I like, what did I not like? Let's get into it. So, they had around 8,500 people, down from what they had last year, but I will say the crowd did make quite a bit of noise, at least for some parts of the show. Now, the 0 Hour panel was Renee, RJ, Jarrett, and Nigel, and look, they added 3 matches to the 0 Hour. I'm just going to gloss through most of them because they didn't matter. We had the Acclaim with Billy Ass Gun versus the Iron Savages with their manager. I don't remember the fucking name of him. Matt Menard was on commentary, and I'm sorry, he does not need to be doing commentary. More on the state of the commentary team in just a little bit. The Acclaim won, moving on. It was what it was. I don't know why they turned the 0 Hour into Rampage. This is supposed to sell people to buy the pay-per-view if you're on the fence. So then the premier athletes, Daivari, Nese, and Josh Woods. Nothing against Daivari and Nese. They're fine athletes, but Josh Woods is somebody they could utilize better, and he's the one that took the fucking pin in this match. Anyway, they took on, they had, oh, Jesus Christ. They had Sterling Silver against Dustin, Sammy, and Hologram. Or hologram or whatever. He should try to do it in Disappearing Act like a goddamn hologram. But anyway, yeah, Sammy, stop trying to make Sammy Guevara happen. It's not going to happen. It has been 5 fucking years and it has not worked. So, yeah, Dustin hit a destroyer and, you know, Sterling got hit with the crossroads and, yeah, Woods got pinned by Dustin. At least Dustin's getting a win and he's got a couple championships. He's part of the Ring of Honor 6-man champions. They just split up from the other unified trios titles. It is what it is. And he's also one half of the, I guess, the Ring of Honor tag team champion. It's fine. The Gangbang Gang of Juice, along with the Guns, took on Dark Order. Seriously, Dark Order. Evil, Uno, Silver, and Reynolds. I'm all about people getting paid, but I'm sorry. There are certain acts, and that's what AEW has a lot of, acts that need to go by the wayside. This was embarrassing. When is Jay White due back? What happened to Jay White? What injury did he suffer? Or was it a personal issue? Is he okay? Even if I'm not a big fan of him, he just disappeared. So, yeah. Uno looked like he just couldn't even move. So, anyway, the Gangbang Gang won. So, who was the father-son combination with Renee and RJ? Who were they? I don't know. Who were they? Sky Blue is here in a red dress and crutches because she hurt her ankle recently against Sheeta, and there's no timetable on her return. Mariah May then shows up all over Shivani. There is a particular person that thinks she's his champion. You know who you are. She will not do her championship celebration in Chicago, but she did have one funny line. Why do they call it the Windy City when none of you have ever been blown? That was pretty good. And then she shoved down and attacked Sky. And then Queen Aminata, Aminata, I can't help, I'm sorry. She came out to rescue Sky, so that is a TV program? Okay. So, then Top Flight and Action Andretti with Layla Gray. They are now dressed up like pilots. Layla Gray is dressed up with 2 of the glow stick things that you use to bring planes in. They took on Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, and the son of Mantar, aka the Meep Mortos. Meep! That's what he is now, the Meep Mortos. If you get that reference, you guys are awesome. Also, Strong, Bennett, and Taven were here. And yeah, this was the only match that was announced for 0 Hour. Why even bother having a goddamn referee? The referees were made ineffective for most of the goddamn night here. Taven ended up pinning one in Top Flight. I think it was Darius to get the victory. Or maybe it was Dante. I don't care. So there you are. Menard is on the main show. I mean, I guess it sort of makes sense because he has ties to Daniel Garcia, but he's not good. He is not good at commentary. So Garcia jumpstarts while MJF is in the ring for his entrance. Thank me later flag. I do like that they're keeping the flag thing going. Garcia attacks. He's got a bandage around him because MJF ended up clocking him over the head with a wine bottle. And look, I will say this much. They took it seriously. I think this went a little long. In fact, I think that was my issue with a couple of the matches. Didn't need to go maybe as long as it did. This was about 23, 24 minutes. Probably could have been cut down to 18. There were people that were noticing maybe MJF wasn't giving his full effort. I don't know. I think that they were building something here. Maybe it didn't fully click. Because, yes, it was mostly a blood feud, and this is about the best that you could get out of Garcia at this point in his career. And I'm not saying he hasn't put in effort. He stopped doing the dance thing. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Mina Shirakawa does it better anyway. Boy, does she ever. So she was not on this show. So a spill to the floor. It really looked like MJF got hurt there. So we get some good back and forth. We get some neck focus as you would expect. Garcia got busted open again. He would eventually fire back. We got a New Yorker Plainview Sunrise, or whatever the heck you call it, the Panama Sunrise essentially, but he's not from Panama. Neither is Adam Cole, baby. But Garcia does fire up. There is a spit spot straight out of the Bret Hart to Vince McMahon at Survivor Series 97 playbook. And then we got, a nice Boston Crab by MJF. They were trading submissions. There was a crossface. Keep the dogs out of the unclosed pool area and keep the side garage door closed. But there was a volley, repeated strokes to the head. Garcia was finally pissed. He fired up and got a guillotine on. And then hit a pile driver for 2. And then we got a little bit more, but not much. We got a low blow and a jackknife cover, 1, 2, 3. So MJF got the victory. It was a little weird because it looked like Garcia might have been in the ropes. The crowd was a little bit shocked and a little bit confused. A handshake, but it was, of course, MJF trying to trick him. Garcia catches his foot and then basically hits him with a low blow, hits a pile driver off the ropes, and leaves through the crowd. Now, here's my thing. I don't know if Garcia did or didn't re-sign, and he's just going through this last little bit with MJF before deciding. I don't know. It's his business. Maybe he did, and they're just playing this whole thing. But it seems like they're going to have Garcia do this and leave with his head held high. They're going to go to Grand Slam where MJF's going to beat him, and then if he didn't resign, he's done. And if he did, then maybe they push Garcia. I don't know. This is the best Garcia has looked in a while, I will say that. So then we kind of come right back down to earth with Claudio and Yuta of the BCC, more on them later, against the Bucks. Referee Rick Knox, it was the AEW tag titles, and no, fuck you. I'm not watching anything involving the Bucks. They do the same damn shit every single time, except they're slower, dimmer, less dependable, and they look less cool, which they never really look cool anyway. But yeah, they won in about 15 minutes. Cool. The tag division has never been colder. And Osprey against Pac. We have the Brub against the Bastard. And is for the AEW International Championship. It was full of high spots. It was full of lots of, charging up and adrenaline spots and adrenaline rush. Oh, you can't stand the adrenaline rush. And normally you would think I would hate that. No, I was actually very surprised by how good this was. Now, it's not that Pac isn't capable of having a really good match. Folks, I regret to inform you that Osprey might be in the running for my favorite wrestler of the year, despite the fact that I don't really understand half the shit he says on promos, and yes, he does a lot of the stuff that you would think I would not like, but he has delivered. For the most part, he has delivered some of the best matches in AEW. And if you like that thing, and normally, I kind of grew tired of Osprey, to be perfectly honest, after 2019. I did see him versus Amazing Red at the New Japan Cup. Got to see Jushin Thunder Liger on one of his last U.S. shows before he would retire just a little bit later. And then the world went to shit. Liger was holding the world together. People say Kobe did. Kobe couldn't even, never mind. He helicoptered his way out of there. I feel bad except for the Denver hotel thing, and he should never be forgiven for it. So nevertheless, look, they flipped. They flipped, and they did start slow, but they would eventually just do the crazy high spots. Pac was literally cutting through the red tape. We got Ospreay, God, I was really worried he was going to crash on that dive. But he did good there. We got a lot of nice back and forth. A spike DDT by Pac. More reversals. This was cooking. I'm not going to go over every single goddamn spot because that is going to take a long goddamn time. But it was a spectacle. And what a fucking spectacle it was. I would argue this was pretty much the high point as far as wrestling and credibility of the show. More on that in a bit. But a German on the apron, don't know why. German release on the apron, I don't understand it. Ospreay apparently does not want to be walking by the age of 40. We get a roll-up catch for 2. By the way, the Bucks did win via, a roll-up variation. So that was 2 straight rolls. We almost had 3. A snap Rana for 2. They were cooking on these near falls. They were doing some good stuff. We got a poison Rana for 2. We got a hidden blade. We were just, Ospreay hit a Hurricane Rana. We were going back and forth and back and forth. Another blade, another cutter, a Styles Clash, and a hidden blade. 1, 2, 3. Big pop. Big moments. One of my favorite matches of the year. I know I didn't expect to say that. And the thing is look, not everybody can do it. Ospreay and Ricochet are probably going to try to top themselves, or top this, at WrestleDream. I'd be very surprised if they run that at Grand Slam because they only have literally like a few days to do that. I think they're going to wait till WrestleDream, which I'm going to be at. And they better load up that card if they want to get more than 6,000 people in a 21,000 seat arena. But what a spectacle. It certainly was something memorable, and it certainly was, a match with a lot of high impact, a lot of adrenaline stuff, and it was pretty nuts. And then, Willow Nightingale against Chris Statlander, Stokely, Hathaway, Mrs. Hathaway was there. Chicago Street Fight. Look, there were parts of this that I liked. And I will explain where the match lost me. You probably can guess if you've been watching this channel for any bit of time. If you have talked to me on social media, here or Twitter, you can probably guess where the match lost me. Willow had different hair. Watch her whip, watch her nay-nay. Bet you didn't expect that. A powerbomb through a table because... why the hell not? Or the announcer's table, which actually looked pretty goddamn bad. Willow looked like she hit her head. I hope she's okay, because that looked pretty rough. And then a missed table spot where actually Statlander tried to do like a senton or a swanton variation, but she ended up kicking Willow right in the head because they mistimed it. Both these women can work, and I don't mind having a street fight thing and trying to... My problem is for everything that they did, in this match that worked, there were about 2 or 3 other things that didn't. Or the pounce, period, through the barrier in a conveniently cleared out spot, and to the stage. And then we get some toys brought out. Stokely brought out a trash can as tall as him. There's a barbed wire bat, and there's light tubes. And Statlander got hit over the head with light tubes. No. Light tubes don't fucking belong in a goddamn wrestling ring. They don't belong in a wrestling match. If you think so, fine. You can say whatever. There are people I know, people I have talked to, people that I have, driven around that like deathmatch wrestling. That's fine. To me, it is pure garbage and has been pure garbage. If you're going to include light tubes, I don't care if they're gimmicked or not. That stuff has toxic fumes in it. They do. And it's also just stupid. You can gimmick shit all you... Whatever. I don't care if it's gimmicked. It's trash. Statlander hit like a tackle and knocked Willow through some tables off the stage. It looked like she was trying to suckle off of Willow. Why I noticed that spot, I don't know. But it was what it was. And then they're basically just... They're back in the ring. They're hitting some slams. Thumbtacks. And then a split in the thumbtacks, sort of. There's no use even saying it anymore, but using thumbtacks over and over is just ridiculous. A DVD for $2. A giant Spanish fly it took 10 years to set up. And then a chain, and then the chain, and Willow wasn't sure she wanted to use a chain. You have the chain, and Statlander just looks at her like, stand here, hi, do it. Like, I know they used to be friends, but what the fuck? And then we get a dog collar thing. Or like a collar, like a strap, like a chain match. Tony Schiavone said it was like Ivan Koloff using the Russian chain. No, it wasn't Schiavone. What the fuck? I like Schiavone, but god damn it, the commentary was unfucking bearable. Excalibur was stumbling over his words constantly. It's one thing for fans cutting videos like myself to stumble over words. That man is an alleged broadcaster of a professional wrestling company. So, Willow, then basically, if we just got more weapon spots and just whatever. Willow got choked out with the chain. These women can work, but no, I'm sorry. If I don't like it when they do it in other matches and everything, if I didn't like Anarch Queef in the arena and other stuff, you can do weapon spots and make them mean something, but the problem is the AEW has basically been WCW's hardcore division and ECW's variations on steroids, just full bore and doing the same stuff where it doesn't register. Renee's with Ospreay. He kind of knocks back the Ricochet's only been here for a bit and has been collecting paychecks. I think he's had 2 TV matches, so he hasn't been there that long. And tells him rack up some wins. And then talk to Tony Khan. Speaking of Tony Khan, I think somebody needs to talk to Tony Khan about signing Okada. Because Okada, while yes, he did a few moves here. Yes, he has obviously taken a beating, but come on. Come on. This man was worth how much money? I mean, WWE maybe was smart not to bring him in. Okada, Takeshita, Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy. It's a Continental 4-way. Referee Rick Knox. Just give me Okada versus Takeshita at some point. Cassidy got pinned with a Rainmaker in about 10 to 12 minutes. It has Orange Cassidy in it. I'm done. I have not cared about Orange Cassidy for a while, except to rag on him. Briscoe doesn't mean anything. Takeshita and Okada is money, is something you could put on pay-per-view and actually give them 12 to 15 minutes. Maybe give them a little bit longer of a time limit with the Continental Championship and actually make it mean something. Because Takeshita can work. And maybe Okada would be motivated. At least Cassidy took the pin, but he hasn't taken nearly enough pins for my liking. Speaking of things that aren't for my liking, Hikaru Shida is for my liking. Good grief, she looks great. And those that tried to fast shame her, i.e. Britt Baker fans, you're fucking assholes. Maybe you might want to go visit your DMD at your local dentistry because I don't know if she's going to come back. We haven't seen her since All In, which I know hasn't been that long. They haven't even referenced that thing, I don't believe. Which it was an abysmal match. Mercedes. A TBS championship match. Camille's banned from ringside, and okay. The crowd was kind of split. They seem to be cheering Shida more. And look, Mercedes hit a couple decent moves, but she doesn't have it anymore. Go to Hollywood. Go to Hollywood. You don't want to do this. You're not cut out for this. Her weave at one point was trying to escape. I tried to escape that head. But we got some, parts. We got, some decent parts. We got Shida actually at one point hitting her finish a bunch. But then she was supposed to, I think she was supposed to, wait for Mercedes to roll out, and Mercedes got confused. Mercedes did get caught flush, and Mercedes actually had a brain up here that might work. But anyway, we get a back and forth. We get a knee. This is just getting out of control. We get the stick being brought in. And she is like, I don't want to use it. The conflict, the stuff, it's stupid. It's stupid. And Mercedes needs to goddamn come up with something other than that moneymaker because it's terrible. It is a terrible finish. She's not capable of doing it. It always looks awkward. And then Jack Perry gets a police-type video and everything, and Jack Perry has a video package and the Scape Joke bus. And Scape Joke is something that Nigel actually had a flummox and ended up saying, so now he's Scape Joke. There are CM Punk chants, and people are like, oh, well, Jack Perry appeals to people or whatever. It's like, Orange Cassidy appeals to children. He's a target for children. polio was a target for children, and I feel about the same way watching an Orange Cassidy or Jack Perry match. So anyway, is there a vaccine to fix them, to maybe inoculate us against bad wrestling that they do, especially Jack Perry? Because Bryan Danielson got the big Europe entrance. Great. The final countdown. You know what? I don't think he's going to be wrestling past Wrestle Dream. I really would be surprised, and I don't think he needs to, because if this match is any indication, I don't think he can carry much more. Look, Perry's as good as he's going to ever be, which isn't saying much. JR joined commentary. He doesn't have it anymore. He does not. I love JR. I don't wish for JR to have anything bad happen to him. I wish for him to enjoy his golden years. The spirit is willing. The body is saying, fuck you, we can't do it. I did like how the person had, as I said, Mama Cornette says Chicago White Sox are greater than Jack Perry. Even as bad as Jack Perry is, I don't know about that. I mean, the Chicago White Sox at one point were successful, but anyway, Brian just nearly slipped doing a dive, and look, there's fuck you, Jack Jansen. Oh, this is great heat. I don't want to see anything Jack Perry's involved in. I've been watching wrestling for years and years and years. He has not drawn eyeballs at the goddamn product. He wasn't good in New Japan. I saw enough of his stuff in New Japan to know he doesn't have it and never will. JR doesn't care anymore. Brian carried this. We got a ref bump. The Bucks ran in. Then Claudio and Yuta ran in. And the ref came back in. We got a 2 count. We eventually got the knees, slaps. Then we got another knee. And, but Perry did this like he was sacrificing himself. Yeah, escape joke, yeah. Sacrifice yourself at an altar for a cult. You won't be missed. So yeah, we then get to sing along because Bryan Danielson thankfully won in a match that was twice as long as it needed to be. And then Lucha Switchsaurus, guy shows up. The dinosaur shows up. And he ends up attacking Bryan. Then stares at Jack Perry. At least you have these two and you don't have Marco's stunt that never belonged in a wrestling ring. Was embarrassing. Any promotion that wanted to bring him in was moronic. But that being said, history, but then Lucha Switch leaves. Christian Cage comes down with no real sense of urgency. Shayna Wayne, my goddamn goodness. And also Nick Wayne's there. And just sauntering, he has the contract to cash in because he won it at the Battle Royal All In. And then suddenly here's Jon Moxley just standing there. Just standing there. I'm thinking he's going to step to the side. Nope, here's Yuta. And here's Claudio after, I guess, getting rid of the Bucks and coming back. And then we get this going for a bit. They celebrate with Brian. Here's Pac. And Pac also showed up. And then Claudio clocks Brian. And then Mox puts a bag over his head. I was laughing my ass off. I'm sorry. This was funny. Because this was so bad. This was so putrid. This is not Terry Funk and Ric Flair. It's plastic bag angle. It's not, no. I mean, what the fuck? Somebody says this is going to lead to Shane McMahon joining the company, leading an invasion. An invasion of people that have been there for a while. Mox, who has been there pretty much since day one of AEW. At least as far as their first pay-per-view. He wasn't one of the first guys signed, but once he left WWE, he decided to join them, and I don't blame him. He's going to do what he wants to do, for good or bad. But they put a plastic bag over Brian's head, and it's so fucking hilarious. Yuta is trying to save him like no, but Pac, who's not much taller than Yuta, is holding him, and Yuta's like, no, I can't move. They're chanting, this is murder, and yeah, I mean, draw your own jokes there. Claudio, Pac, and Yuta, by the way, they're 6-man champions. Make it make sense? Is Mox going to beat Yuta for one of the 6-man titles? Marina Shafir, by the way, was there, but we still don't know her. He put a plastic bag over his fucking head. How am I supposed to take any of this seriously? Because it's goofy and it's stupid. Anyway, the lights go out. We get the entrances of Swerve and Hangman, and Swerve has images of his house being burned down. By the way, AEW put out something right after that happened, due to the graphic nature of the of the attack on Bryan Danielson, we will not be showing that footage. AEW does not condone such actions. You literally just showed Hangman burning down a man's childhood home on cable television. But you won't show this on pay-per-view. But you're going to show a bunch of other bullshit in this match. So, while the cage is lowering, Nana puts a table in, puts some chairs in. There's a toolbox carrying case thing. And other weapons. I knew they were going to put weapons in there. I will say that there were parts that were not as egregious as I thought they'd be. But then they got even more ridiculous. Hangman versus Swerve, unsanctioned cage match. JR is falling asleep. I think a lot of people were falling asleep. Look, the live crowd loved it. Everybody on social media that I saw was divided on it. Let me say this. They did try to make it as much of a bloodbath, just a bloodbath, like as far as like just full of hate. Not necessarily them gushing and bleeding out. So I was at least okay with that. I don't care. You bleed what you want. You bleed and get whatever diseases, come with it. But at least they were trying to make it a grudge, an ultimate grudge match, ultimate blow-off. They bleed, whatever, it is what it is. A staple gun gets brought in. It was stupid in Blood and Guts, and it's stupid here. Pictures of Swerve's family got stapled to Hangman's chest or face. It's dumb. Staple guns don't belong in wrestling either. I'm sorry. It's fucking stupid. The ref tries to stop the violence, and then they get a Luau cinder block, and Hangman gets his back scratched up pretty goddamn bad landing on that thing. It's stupid. I don't care if it's a gimmick cinder block or whatever. But god damn it. Stomp through the table. That looked good. And then there was a split crowd. And yes, Hangman was trying to just basically wind up Swerve by burning down his house, trying to get revenge, and I was going to get the revenge here, and I get it. But there was a burnt piece of wood that was made into a spike from the childhood home, in quotations. And then we get people stabbing each other. And it's garbage. And it is pure fucking garbage. I can't even work up getting angry about it at this point, because why? Because why? I got angry about it at Full Gear last year because it was fucking stupid. At this point, they're going to do their shit to diminishing returns, and it's their choice. I am going to, however, say something a little bit, but we got a powerbomb on the cinder block, a powerbomb into the cage, and then we got, we got a powerbomb off the top, we got chair shots, and then we got barbed wire was introduced at some points. We got a needle pulled out. And he just basically stuck a needle full of something in Swerve. And instantly knocked him out to the point where he was able to KO him with a chair, I guess. Or numb him and KO him with a chair. So if he numbed him, would he not have felt it? Hey, you know what? There. It's not nearly enough that I could do. Could have set the notes on fire if I wanted. Look, I'm giving AEW till World's End to really draw me back in, or otherwise I might just be picking and choosing the pay-per-views. Because it's getting really hard. There were great things on here. Pac and Ospreay was tremendous. MJF and Garcia was tremendous. There were other points in the show. I didn't mind some of the stuff that Willow and Stylander did, and there were other good things going on, but seriously, a needle. A fucking needle. Fucking, light tubes, other shit. Oh, you want a book for the sickos, Tony? Good. Pretty soon that's all you're going to fucking have. And there ain't going to be enough of them. Now, maybe, according to what he said, post-collision or post-rampage or something like that, AEW is here. I think AEW is here to stay on TNT and TBS for the long haul. If that's true, if he didn't jump the gun, good. I hope they get a healthy TV deal. But what are they going to be able to continue to follow up with? What are they going to be able to do? Hangman and Swerve can't face each other for a while, if ever again. Khan's got some issues. He's got some shit to work out. And I'm kind of tired of the bullshit and them shooting themselves in the foot. So again, I'm giving it till World's End, and I might just give up. Because I think Wrestle Dream's going to be fun, but just, I don't know. It's not, that wasn't wrestling. Grudge match aside, that was 30-something minutes when it should have been maybe 18. Nevertheless, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Wentland. I'll see you soon.